My dear teachers, my dear colleagues, good morning to you. Welcome to the class on tenses English grammar. In this class, let us see what are the tenses and how we can use the tenses in the sentences. Oftentimes, as soon as we hear the word tense, we get tensed. The most irritating word in English, we can say tension. And when we use the tenses or when we teach the tenses, we get tensed. But through this presentation, I would like to make clear that tenses are not that tensed. Tenses are actually easier than we think. To understand the tenses, we need to understand three concepts: time, action, and aspect. There are three times: the present time, that is now; past time, that is before now; and future time, that is after now. Now let us see action. By action we mean somebody does it. So there is a doer and something is done and someone does it. What one is also can be an action. Action, when we put them in sentences, they are of two types: transitive action, intransitive action. By transitive action we mean that action requires an object. For example, to buy, it is an action, buying. But just I can't buy nothing, I have to buy something. So I bought an apple. Here apple is an object, therefore it's a transitive verb or transitive action. By intransitive verb we mean the verb or action that requires no object. For example, Rajan ran. So here the verb is to run, it does not require an object. And what is a verb? Verb is that which denotes an action or being. For example, the girls are playing football. Here, to play is a verb that expresses an action of playing. And there is an expression of being. The girls are quiet. So here, the verb to be tells about the being of the girls. Now let us understand aspect. By aspect we mean how the action is going on. Aspects are four types: simple aspect, continuous aspect, perfect aspect, perfect continuous aspect. In simple aspect, no prescribed beginning or end, continuous state of being. For example, the earth is round or the earth revolves round the sun. Here there is no prescribed beginning or end. The earth will continue to revolve around the sun. And continuous state of being, I speak English. For example, I speak English. It does not mean that I began at a particular moment and I am speaking. So without beginning or without ending, the action is going on. By continuous we mean no prescribed beginning, but the action is progressive. For example, I am reading, I am eating. So there is no mention about the action when it began, like when I started reading. But the action is currently going on. That's why I say I am reading. In perfect aspect, there is no prescribed beginning, but the action is completed at a prescribed time. Example, I have eaten the apple. The teacher has met the students. So the sentence does not tell when the teacher started to meet the students, but the sentence tells that the action is completed at a prescribed time. Perfect continuous aspect. Here, there is a prescribed beginning and the action is progressive. For example, I have been living in Madurai since 2018. So the prescribed beginning is mentioned by 2018 and the action is progressive because here we are telling I have been living. Now let us look at the tenses. Tenses are actually time, action, aspect combined. There are 12 tenses in English: simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous, simple past, past continuous, past perfect continuous, simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Before getting into the tenses, let us try to understand how the tenses work on verbs. Verbs define the tenses. Look at this example. Rajan eats an apple. Rajan ate an apple. Rajan will eat an apple. Here, Rajan is a noun, proper noun. Apple is a common noun. Syntactically speaking, Rajan is the subject, apple is the object. Verb here is eats. Look at the sentences here. When it comes to tenses, there is no change in noun or there is no change in subject or object. Only the verb undergoes change. So here the verb to eat has three forms. Eats, ate, will eat. So simple present, simple past and simple future. The modification of the verb according to the person, number, time, aspect and action is called conjugation. Concepts related to tenses. There are a few concepts, we will see them now. Number one, mood. Mood is a form of a verb that expresses mode or manner of action. There are 5 moods in English. Number one, indicative mood. Here we express a fact or a statement. For example, she likes the gift. In this sentence, I simply make a statement. Number 2. Imperative mood. Here, I express a command or request. Clean your room. Please be seated. In these sentences, commands or requests are expressed. Number 3. Interrogative mood. Interrogative mood is used to express a sense of uncertainty by asking a question. For example, are you coming home tomorrow? Number 4. Conditional mood. This mood is used to express a condition. For example, if it rains, you must stay home. Last one, fifth one, subjunctive mood. This is used to express a wish, doubt, demand or hypothetical situation. For example, God bless you. Suppose we say God blesses you, it will be indicative. But here we say God bless you because we express a wish. That's why we have here God bless you. The second concept that is related to voice, related to tense is voice. By voice we mean the relation between the verb and the subject. In English there are 3 voices, but usually we use 2 voices. Active voice, passive voice. The third voice which is not used but which is present in English is middle voice. Let us take the example. I closed the window. Here I is the subject, window is object, closed is verb. Here subject, that I is doing the action, active voice. But suppose the object becomes the subject. We say the window was closed by me. Here was closed is the passive form of the verb and by expresses the agent. Then thirdly, the window closed. Maybe the window closed because of air or the window closed because of wind or the window closed by itself. So we don't know, it's a middle voice. The third concept that is related to tenses is modals or auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are used to express volition or wish, that is will, to express ability, our potentiality, that is can, and to express obligation, to have to or must. For example, I will take coffee. Here, suppose somebody asks you what you would like to take. You would like to take coffee or tea. I say I will take coffee. Here I wish to take coffee, not tea. When I say I can read Hindi, here I mean I am able to read Hindi. I must go now. Here I am telling an obligation of going now, that is I have to. Now let us get into the tenses. Tenses in the present. Present tense with 4 aspects. Simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous. Let us see each of these tense under 3 headings. Form, like what is the form of particular tense, how that particular tense is made or spelt. Thirdly, how that particular tense is used. Number 1, simple present tense. The form, positive statement, I play, he plays. Negative statement, I do not play, he does not play. Here with the word not, we negate the sentence. So not is usually corresponds to or not is attached to the verb. Question form. Do you play? Does he play? And when expressed as a negative question, it becomes do you not play? Does he not play? How do we spell? We only use s ending in the third person singular. For example, play becomes plays. We add es to the verbs that end in ws, sh, ch, x and o. For example, misses, finishes, watches, mixes, goes. Rajan goes to school. Rajan misses the first bus often. Rajan finishes the lesson quickly. If the verb ends in a consonant and y, we change y into I and use the es ending. Carry becomes carries. Try becomes tries. For example, Rajan tries often but he fails. But play plays because this verb ends with a vowel sound or vowel y. Spelling. When we have questions, there are two types of questions in English. Yes or no questions, WH questions. Are you Rajan? Does he come home? These questions require an answer of yes or no. That is why these questions are called yes or no questions. And the questions that begin with the W or H is called WH question. Who knows this? How are you? When do we use simple present? For activities that happen usually, regularly and habitually. For example, I speak Hindi. My mother gets up early. So here, I speak Hindi is a habitual thing, regular thing. My mother gets up early, that's a regular thing. So to express regularity, we use simple present. Number two, for universally true factors like the earth revolves around the sun. So this is universally true, in all places true. So whether you go to United States or you go to United Kingdom or Australia, this is a universal fact. And third one, planned future actions. I go to Chennai next week. The train leaves at 9 p.m. For example, now morning 9 a.m. I tell that evening train, that is train leaves at 9 p.m. So it's a planned future action. It's expressed with a simple present. 4.2 present continuous. The form. Positive statement, I am playing. He is playing. Negative statement, I am not playing. He is not playing. Question form, are you playing? Is he playing? Negative question, are you not playing? Is he not playing? How do we form? Spelling. The present continuous tense is formed with the verb to be in present and the present participle. By present participle, we mean ing form, ending, ing ending. For example, to run. Present participle is running. Eat, eating. Go, going. Sit, sitting. When do we use present continuous? Number one, to express the action that happens at the time of speaking. For example, I am talking. So here the action is currently taking place. I am teaching English. I am teaching English. So here the action is going on currently. Number two, for temporary actions. For example, Anita is preparing for NEET exam, which means Anita is preparing these days temporarily for exam, NEET exam. Number three, planned future actions. Like Selvi is coming to Chennai next week, which is a planned action but which happens in the future. The following words are not usually used in the continuous tense, but often we use, but we need to be very careful, like feel, hear, smell, taste, like, love, hate, fear, agree, be, have, belong, own. For example, I love my brother. I don't say I am loving my brother. I like cakes. We don't say I am liking cakes. I fear dogs. We don't say I am fearing dogs. I am here. It's not I am being here. I have a pen. We don't say I am having a pen. I own a house. We don't say I am owning a house. So these verbs, though they are to be expressed in continuous form, they do not take continuous form. Number 3, present perfect. Form positive statement. I have cooked. I have written. He has cooked. He has written. So here look at the examples. For the first person singular, that is I, we have the verb have. But for the third person singular, it changes into has. Negative statement, I have not cooked. He has not written. Question form, have you cooked? Has he written? Negative question, have you not cooked? Has he not written? Spelling, how do we write? The present perfect tense is formed with the verb to have in present form and the past participle. Earlier we saw present participle. What is a past participle? Past participle is a uniform pattern way of forming a verb, like work, 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 worked, eat, ate, eaten, go, went, gone. So here all the verb forms that come at the last column, that is worked, were gone, they are past participles. When to use the present perfect? Number 1. Actions that started in the past and still continue. Like we have worked here since 2011. So here the action has begun in 2011 and it continues even now. Number 2. Past experience with the present result. Like I have been to New York. So what is the present result? I know about New York. Past action with a present result, like my brother has bought a house. So that is a past action, but the present result is he owns a house. Number 4, present perfect continuous. The form is positive statement. I have been reading this book. Question form, have you been reading this book? So look at the sentence here. There we have, that is from perfect, been plus read plus ing, that is continuous form. That is why we call this form as present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous tense is formed with the verb to have and been plus present participle. When do we use them? Actions that began in the past continue up to now and may continue in future. Like it has been raining for 3 days and it may continue to rain also. Number 2, actions that began in the past continued up to now and have just finished. Like example, Rajan is tired because he has been working on the presentation so hard. Now let's go to the tenses in the past. 5.1 simple past, 5.2 past continuous, 5.3 past perfect, then 5.4 past perfect continuous. Simple past form, positive statement, I watched, he watched. Negative statement, I did not watch, shorter form would be I didn't watch. He did not watch, he didn't watch. Question would be, did you watch? Negative question would be, did you not watch or didn't you watch? Spelling. We add D or some places ED to the verbs that end with E, like becomes liked. If the verb ends with a consonant and Y, we change Y into E, I. Carry, carried. Try, tried. But play, just we add ed because this verb ends with a vowel sound, play. If the verb has only one syllable and ends with a vowel and a consonant, we double the consonant, like stop, stopped, travel, traveled. There are some irregular forms like go becomes went, buy becomes bought, cut remains the same, cut becomes cut. The question and negative are made in the same way. I went, we break into did you go? No, I did not go. When do we use simple past? Simple past is used number 1 for habitual actions in the past. For example, Francis was in Chennai in 2019. So 2019, he was there for quite a long time. So that's a Francis was. Number 2, actions completed in the past at a definite time. Example, I had breakfast at 8 a.m. So here had, it's a simple past because the prescribed time element is there 8 a.m. Sequence of actions. Vinola came home, she took off her shoes and sat down on the sofa. These sequence of actions happen in the past. Past continuous. The form. Positive statement. I was playing, he was playing. Negative statement. I was not playing, he was not playing. Question form. Were you playing, was he playing? Negative question. Were you not playing, was he not playing? Spelling. The past continuous tense is formed with the verb to be in past and the present participle, that is ing ending. Like I was running, I was eating, I was sleeping. Use. Actions that started before a point of time in the past and continues after it. For example, I was attending mass at 6 a.m. So here the action started before 6 a.m. and continues even after it. Number 2. Actions that started before another action in the past and continued after it. Like I was watching TV when the guest came. Here the action is one action is going on, another action interrupts. The action which is going on is watching TV. Interrupting action is coming of the guest. Number 3. Description of past situation. Thinking of her friend, Ramya was laughing. So here the situation is on the past. Then past perfect. Form is positive statement. I had cooked. He had written. Negative statement. I had not cooked. He had not written. Question form. Had you cooked? Had he written? Negative question. Had you not cooked? Had he not written? Spelling. The past perfect tense is formed with the verb to have in past form and the past participle. Use. Number 1. Actions completed before another action. Example. When I met Yamuna, she had already moved to Goa. So here one action is there, another action is before happen. It happens before that action. That is I meet Yamuna, that is one action. She moving to Goa, another action. So moving to Goa happens prior to this action. That's why we put this in past perfect. When I met Yamuna, she had already moved to Goa. Number 2. Actions completed before a point of time. Example. In 2011, our company had won the prize 3 times. Then past perfect continuous. Form. Positive statement. I had been reading the book. Question form. Had you been reading all day? Spelling. The past perfect continuous tense is formed with the verb to have in past form and be plus present participle. Use. Number 1. Actions that began before a point of time in the past and were still continuing at that time. Example. At 9 o'clock I had been waiting for 2 hours, which means I had been waiting even from 7 o'clock. Then actions that began before a point of time continued up to that time or stopped just before it. Example. Kumar sat down. He had been standing all day. He sat down and the action which is going on prior to that is he had been standing. Now let's go to the last one, tenses in the future. Simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous. Simple future. Form. Positive statement. I will watch. He will go. Negative statement. I will not watch. He will not go. Question form. Will you watch? Will he go? Negative question. Will you not watch? Will he not go? Spelling. We add auxiliary verb will with the verb in the plain form like will run, will go. So here to go is the infinitive form, but we just remove to and just we put to. Use. We use for general intentions like I will move to Germany sooner or later. It's my intention is general, but there is no time limit. Number 2, predictions or opinions of the speaker. Suppose I would like to tell about my opinion. I hope the students will be at school on time. So here I am expressing an opinion which is in the future. Then number 3, decisions made at the moment of speaking. It is late, I will go now. So here it is late is the moment of speaking. I will go now, it's a result of the decision that I have made. Then future continuous form, positive statement, I will be playing, he will be playing. Negative statement, I will not be playing, he will not be playing. Question form, will you be playing, will he be playing? Negative question, will you not be playing, will he not be playing? The future continuous tense is formed with will plus to be in plain form and the present participle like will be going, will be reading, will be watching. Use. Number 1. Actions happening at a point of time in the future. Example, I will be driving to work at 6 o'clock. Number 2. Actions that will happen in the normal course of events. Example, everyone will be using smartphones in future. So here I am telling about something that will happen in the future and that future action will be continuous. Then future perfect form, positive statement, I will have cooked, he will have written. Negative statement, I will not have cooked, he will not have written. Question form, will you have cooked, will he have written? Negative question, will you not have cooked, will he not have written? Spelling. The future perfect tense is formed with the auxiliary verb will plus to have in present form and the past participle like we see in the examples in the following slides. Number 1. Actions that will be completed a certain time in the future. When I return home, I will have been away for a year. So here I will plus have plus been away for a year. Then actions that will be completed before a certain time in the future. She will have written her book by the end of this year. Last one, future perfect continuous. Form is positive statement, I will have been reading the book. Question form, will you have been reading all day? Spelling, the future perfect continuous tense is formed with the auxiliary verb will plus to have in present form plus being plus present participle. Here, when do we use actions that will continue until a point of time and will continue after it? Example, in June, we will have been traveling around the world for 5 months. So here in June, next means which follows, we will have been traveling. So will plus have plus been plus traveling. Actions that will continue until a point of time and will finish at that time. Example, by then I will have been working on my computer all day. So these are the 12 tenses. Now let us try to mix the tenses. The mixing of tenses occurs in two events. Number 1, when there is a linear action, there is an interrupting action. Let us take this example. When I was watching TV, my mother called me. So here one action is linear. Linear in the sense it goes on for a while. Another action is interrupting. So interrupting action works on the linear action. So like when I was watching TV, my mother called me. So here linear action is expressed in the past continuous and the interrupting action is expressed in the simple past. So here we mix two tenses, simple past and past continuous. Number 2, past action and action prior to that action. Let us take this example. When I arrived at the station, the train had already left. So when I arrived at the station, that is one action. Then prior to that action, another action takes place. That is, train had already left. So here the past action is expressed in simple past and the action that has happened prior to that is expressed in the past perfect. Action, the train had already left. So for a final word, tenses. Only these three words are to be remembered. Tenses are used to express time, that is present time, past time, future time. They are used to express an action, whether action is going on, action is completed, or action is going on uncompleted. Then number 3, the aspect of continuity or perfection or completion. So if we understand these 3 words or three concepts, time, action, aspect, then the tenses are clear. And also let us not mix the tenses with voice, mood and auxiliary verbs. Thank you. God bless.